Guardiola versus Mourinho, football's ultimate war of minds, a rivalry so fierce, so intense, it's etched in history like the clash of titans. This is not just a tale of football, no. This is a saga, a battle of ideologies, of philosophies, of legacies, a war fought not on the pitch but in the hearts and minds of millions. On one side, Pep Guardiola, a visionary, a revolutionary, a man who dreams of a game where every pass is a brushstroke, every movement a masterpiece. His teams, a symphony of movement, a relentless pursuit of perfection, a game of chess played at the highest level. His vision of football is one where control is king and beauty is the prize. And on the other side, Jose Mourinho, a master tactician, a general who believes football is a battlefield where survival is the prize and victory is the only law. For Mourinho, football is an art, it's war. He isn't concerned with the beauty of the game, he's concerned with the cold, hard reality of winning. But before we dive into this story, this clash of giants, if you're already hooked by the tension in the air, do us a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It fuels our passion to bring you more stories like this. This is just the beginning of a journey you won't want to miss. This is Guardiola versus Mourinho, the ultimate war of minds. Every great story begins with ambition, but ambition alone doesn't create legends, it takes genius. Pep Guardiola's story is one of destiny. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch as a player for Johan Cruyff's Barcelona, it was clear. Pep was different. He wasn't just playing the game, he was thinking about it, he was designing it, he was crafting it in his mind long before he ever stepped onto the field. As a player, he was the brain of Barcelona's dream team, but as a manager, he became the soul of a revolution. He wasn't just inheriting greatness, he was elevating it, shaping it, transforming Barcelona into something greater than the sum of its parts. When Pep took the reins at Barcelona in 2008, he wasn't just stepping into a job, he was taking the torch from a club that had been built on the ideals of Cruyff and others before him. He had to live up to those ideals, to maintain the club's reputation as a beacon of attacking football, and he did it with grace, with brilliance, with a sense of artistry that no one had seen before. Then there's Jose Mourinho, a man forged in the fires of adversity, a son of a humble Portuguese goalkeeper. Mourinho wasn't born into football's elite circles. He carved his path through grit, intellect, and sheer willpower. From being a translator for Bobby Robson to leading Porto to the Champions League, Mourinho's rise was anything but conventional. Guardiola inherited greatness, Mourinho created it. The debate will rage on, but the truth is both men were driven by a singular force, the desire to prove themselves, to leave a mark that would transcend time. They weren't just managers, they were philosophers shaping the game in their own image. In 2010, the stage was set for their first great collision. Two philosophies, one battlefield, and only one would emerge victorious. Barcelona under Guardiola had become a juggernaut, a machine of precision and elegance. No team had played football like this. No team had ever controlled possession with such authority. Barcelona's tiki-taka was poetry in motion, and they had the world at their feet. But in the Champions League semi-finals, they met a force unlike any other: Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan. It wasn't just a clash of two teams, it was a clash of two philosophies, a game of beauty against a game of strength. The first leg at the San Siro was a battle. Barcelona dominated possession, but Mourinho's Inter stood firm. Every player on that pitch was a soldier defending their territory with everything they had. It wasn't beautiful football, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. When the final whistle blew, Inter had triumphed 3-1. It was a shock, it was a statement. Mourinho had taken on the greatest team in the world and defeated them at their own game. It wasn't just about possession, it was about heart, grit, and survival. It's not about possession, Mourinho declared. It's about goals. But the true test came in the second leg. Barcelona at the Camp Nou with everything on the line. They attacked relentlessly, a wave after wave of pressure. But Mourinho's Inter didn't break. They fought, they bled, they sacrificed everything to hold on to their advantage. Down to 10 men, they dug in, they endured. When the final whistle blew, it was Inter Milan that had triumphed. Jose Mourinho had outwitted Guardiola. He had dismantled the tiki-taka, and the world was left in shock. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. The rivalry would transcend borders, transcend teams. It would become a war of ideologies, a battle for supremacy, and the world would watch. In 2010, Mourinho joined Real Madrid. The war between the two was no longer confined to just one club. It was now the clash of the two most powerful forces in world football. The perfect display of possession, of beauty, of football as an art form. But Mourinho wasn't one to bow down. In the 2011 Copa del Rey final, Madrid struck back. A 1-0 victory in extra time. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't beautiful, but it was Mourinho's masterpiece, a pragmatic, calculated victory that silenced the doubters. Then came the Spanish Super Cup in 2011. Tensions boiled over, a fiery encounter that ended with Mourinho poking Barcelona's assistant Tito Vilanova in the eye. The clash was no longer just about football. It was personal. It was about pride. It was about power. This wasn't just football anymore, this was war, and the world couldn't look away. Rivalries evolve, they adapt, and in 2016 they found a new battleground. Pep Guardiola arrived at Manchester City in 2016. Jose Mourinho, the master of mind games, was appointed manager of Manchester United. The stage was set for the next chapter of this storied rivalry. Manchester City under Guardiola became a juggernaut. They tore through the Premier League with ease, setting new records for goals, possession, and dominance. Who could forget United's stunning 3-2 comeback against City in 2018, denying Pep the chance to clinch the title in front of their fans. Mourinho didn't just win that game, he made sure the world knew that he wasn't done yet. But City's dominance continued, and with it, the rivalry between these two giants grew even more intense. Some rivalries leave scars, others legacies. Guardiola versus Mourinho will be remembered for generations. Guardiola and Mourinho didn't just change football, they defined it. One through beauty, the other through strength. One through possession, and the other through pragmatism. Pep taught us that football could be more than a game, it could be a work of art. He showed us that beauty, precision, and control were just as powerful as brute force. Mourinho, on the other hand, taught us that football isn't always about elegance. Sometimes it's about survival, it's about winning, it's about outwitting your opponent at their own game. But here's the truth, neither man is complete without the other. Guardiola's brilliance shines because of Mourinho's battles. Mourinho's tactics feel sharper because of Guardiola's genius. In the end, does it really matter who was better? Or is the beauty of this rivalry that it gave us something to believe in, something to fight for, something to cherish? Because in the end, Guardiola versus Mourinho isn't just a rivalry, it's a story that will live forever.